Welcome back to the Daily Lift. Making excuses is as human as it gets. We do it when we're scared, we do it when we doubt our abilities, and we do it when we're just not in the mood. But let's turn to Exodus chapter 4, verse 10, where we see Moses, after being called by God, one of God's chosen leaders, starts to make excuses. He says, "Lord, I'm not eloquent, and I am slow of speech and of tongue." Moses here is standing before the burning bush, and he was given a monumental task to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. In his response, he gives some excuse about his speech. But God's reply to Moses wasn't just a dismissal of his excuse, but it was a lesson for us all. God asks Moses, "Who has made man's mouth?" See, this wasn't just about Moses' speech impediment, but it was about trusting in God's ability to empower us beyond our limitations. So what does that mean for us today? When we make excuses, we're often focusing on our own limitations rather than focusing on God's limitless power. Moses' story teaches us that God doesn't call the equipped, God equips the called. So our excuses, whether it's our skills, our time, or our past failures, all of these are opportunities for God to show His strength through our weakness. And so to overcome our excuses, we first need to acknowledge them. Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it lack of confidence? Then once we acknowledge them, we have to confront them with God's word. Philippians 4:13 is one of those amazing verses that says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This isn't just about physical strength, but about spiritual courage to step beyond our excuses and our own limitations. And when we live without excuses, this means that we trust God in His plan more than our own doubts. It's about stepping out in faith even when we feel unprepared. Imagine if Moses had let his excuse define him. Instead, he led a nation to freedom. What could you achieve if you stepped out of making excuses? Today, I challenge you to look into yourself, identify one of those excuses that you've been holding on to, and now replace it with a promise from God. Instead of saying, "I can't because," say, "With God, all things are possible. I know I can." So let's start seeing our challenges as opportunities for God's glory to be revealed through us. Remember, excuses are barriers we build between God and us. Let's tear down those barriers, not with our own strength, but with God's strength. May you find the courage to say, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Just as Moses did, let's watch God work wonders through our own lives. And as always, go lift somebody up.